how was it to tell your parents about Islam?
I just told my mum. She was a bit scared at first as to like what I was going to tell her. When you're very new to it, people are going to come to you and they're going to start pushing you back. I don't even believe in Christmas. It was added to Christianity, but...
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm in the Maktabah and I'm with a special guest where inshallah we're going to be speaking about a number of questions pertaining to reverts to Islam. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
What's your name?
Josh. Yep.
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh. Have you got a Muslim name, Josh?
Some people call me Yusha as well, which is Josh or Joshua in Arabic. So it's just the Arabization of the English name.
Of Josh.
Yeah.
You're a revert to Islam.
Yep.
5 years.
Yep.
Did you change? Why didn't you change your name? Some people do.
Well, I think I looked into it, and people say that, or scholars say that you should change your name if it's a name with a bad meaning. And I looked into my name, and I saw that it was not just a biblical name, but specifically a name of a prophet that's recognized in Islam as well. And he's mentioned by name in like certain hadith, and he's like referred to in different ayat, like I think in Surah Kahf, وَإِذْ قَالَ Musa. I think that ayah refers to Yusha. So I saw it as like a virtuous name, and I thought there's no need to change it if it's something that means something good as well. And lastly, there are other sort of ethnicities that they might change their names into a different language. Like for example, I think Turkish people, they might change Muhammad into like Mehmet or something like that. So to me, it's just like that.
Yeah. You became Muslim, and how was it to tell your parents about Islam? What was the process? Did you tell them straight away? You didn't tell them at first? And why?
I think I gave it about a week, and I told my mum. It was lockdown at the time, so I just told my mum, and I dramatized it a bit, so she was a bit scared at first as to like what I was going to tell her. But she was very receptive, and like she congratulated me as well. She was sort of happy for me. And then my dad, I think I told him a bit later, it was lockdown, and he lives in a different house, so I had to call him. But I do see the benefit in some reverts waiting a bit. I think there were some companions possibly that sort of hid their Islam for a bit, because I think when you're very new to it, people are going to come to you and start debating you, and they're going to start pushing you back, and it can really have an effect on your iman. So I think everyone should sort of play it by ear, based on how you know your family, and then just tell people and sort of explain that you're not going to run away and go crazy or anything like that, but it's just a set of principles that you've decided to live by, and sort of be firm with that.
And how did your mum take it? Because you're living at home with your
Yeah.
mum. I'm assuming you're still living with her
Yeah.
now. How did she take it at first? And
Yeah, I'm blessed with a very kind and considerate mum, and she said congratulations. Literally, I think that's the word she used, and she asked me straight away, like, do I want halal meat and stuff like that. So I have no criticisms really of my mum. I think we sort of have respect for we give each other respect for how we want to live our lives, and she's very just kind and considerate, and she likes to ask questions and stuff like that. So yeah.
before Islam, obviously, celebrated Christmas, I'm assuming, birthdays, Easter to a degree. How much did you celebrate them, or if you did, and then how was it to stop celebrating them?
Obviously celebrated all of them, but I don't think my family is extremely into Christmas, or extremely into anything really. We're sort of just, I guess, chill. I think with Christmas it was just about being firm, and it was easy because it was lockdown and no one really congregated in the first place. But I think it's just about being firm and understanding that, so people might be upset, and stuff like that. But for some people as well, I guess it's sometimes their hand is forced a bit more. So as I said, I have things a lot easier, and I've sort of dealt with loads of other reverts, and I understand their situations aren't the same, and I try to have a bit of understanding with that. Yeah, some people it's like not life or death, but that maybe they'd be kicked out of the house if they sort of if they didn't sort of stay with the family during some of these celebrations. So it's a bit different, and I'm not the one to speak for those sorts of people.
So for yourself, when Christmas came, the Christmas tree comes out, there's decorating the Christmas tree, buying presents, putting presents underneath, that stuff. That still happens in your house, but not
really, no.
Not really anyway.
No,
so it's easier for you to
yeah,
navigate.
like my mom's always gone to her aunt's house. My sister will go to like my dad's side of the house and stuff like that. So my house has never really been decorated, and yeah, my mom's not even terribly into
like
Christmas.
that,
I think similar to I think your family. She used to
Yeah.
be Rasta back in the days,
Oh, okay.
way back in the day. So
So she's not she's not
yeah,
she
she sort
sees it as
yeah, like I
what
think
it
even
is.
the Christians in my family, I think I've spoken to my grandma so many times, and she's been like, I don't even believe in Christmas. It was added to Christianity, but obviously because it's a tradition and it's time to spend with family. Obviously,
Yeah.
they still sort of
So they all
will eat
accept
and
it's an
stuff like
innovation in the religion as
that.
well. It's a bid'ah.
Basically, yeah, yeah.
When you became Muslim, how did you go about finding your first Muslim friends?
I had them already,
Okay.
so I think everyone in London knows Muslims at least. If you go to school, you're mixing with ethnicities like Somalis, Pakistanis, and so on and so on. So I had some Somali friends, some Pakistani friends, etc., etc. But also I had a Moroccan friend who got me involved in like some five-a-side football with some Muslim brothers. So that was a good way for me to meet some brothers that have sort of helped me and given me dawah. And I think I even met your son there as well. So
Really?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was before you were Muslim.
And it's slightly before I was Muslim,
Yeah.
just when I was sort of more sure about becoming Muslim, but I hadn't become Muslim yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just in a nutshell, what got you looking into it?
I was I would have described myself as an atheist in early secondary school. And you know those sorts of arrogant atheists that think like science is the only way to truth, and they like I'm so objective, and they think that they're sort of the most smart person ever, etc., etc. I was sort of like that, and yeah, so I was sort of like that, and then I sort of remember someone telling me about a scientific miracle in Islam, and although some of these scientific miracles sometimes they're a bit stretched and warped, I think that had sort of opened my mind to the fact that religion could be objective and it wasn't just all about feelings. So I started to look into it, and that was maybe 5 years before I became Muslim or something like that. I started to look into it. I came across historical miracles like I think in the Quran you have about the Romans being defeated, is it, or
Yeah.
stuff like that, or even you got in the Hadith about the barefooted Bedouins competing in building the tallest buildings. So I came across all these objective miracles and just the eloquence of the Quran in general and its preservation. And I came to a point where I felt I had no other choice other than to like submit to what I thought.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, last advice, and this is the advice for someone that's like you before you became Muslim, atheist, for
Yep.
example, or thinking about Islam, looking at Islam. What advice would you give somebody who's there?
I would say ask the right questions. I think Muslims aren't the type of people to like shun questions. Sometimes you hear about people in certain cults or religions. They'll ask a question, they'll be shunned by their religious leader or priest. And I'm sure Muslims will ask any of your questions as long as you ask with the right manners. But I'd say ask the right questions. I've spoken to some non-Muslims, and sometimes the questions they ask, you wonder if they are sincere questions. For example, if you're asking a question for the sake of just proving a point, or if you're asking a question that doesn't really make a difference whether it's true or not, and just to prove like, oh, this is wrong or that's wrong, it's not really that beneficial. So I'd say ask the right questions. Ask things that are actually, if they're, for example, true, are they proofs of Islam, etc., etc. And just be inquisitive. I'd say try and learn. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's about your life. It's you who's going to be held to account. So I think everyone needs to sort of understand that and just ask the right questions and be sincere.
Because you're speaking about questions and actually getting
Yep.
knowledge and information.
Yep.
Alhamdulillah, you're a student here at Medina College. You have been for a little while
Yep.
now. What do you think? How important is structured education or structured learning in that regard, in terms of growing your iman and a good environment and
Yeah, I think structured learning is very important, not just in terms of the actual things you learn. Obviously, that is very important. But as you said, the environment I think is very important. I think Medina College is somewhere where you can come and you can be very, very ignorant, but I don't think you'll be bullied or looked down upon. I think even just being in the environment and hearing about Allah and His Messenger and the Deen, etc., etc., and then being around Muslims. Sometimes we have initiatives like we had football a couple of years ago. It needs to come back.
yeah,
We've had some Ramadan dinners and stuff like that. I think stuff like that is so important. It's so
yeah,
important. I think if anything, after obviously, knowledge and stuff like that, I think friends and your social group is probably one of the most important things to develop once you become Muslim. So yeah, that's my understanding. Honestly, after thanking Ya Allah, His Messenger, etc., and all the prophets and all that stuff, all of this for like us having the deen. I think my friends is like one of the sort of the main reasons after Allah guided me that I've sort of stayed somewhat, firm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, in 5 years' time, where do you see yourself?
I'm giving away too much. Inshallah, hopefully with a family and just stable job and more knowledge and more steadfastness, most importantly, not just learning for the sake of learning, but just being stable and firm on the deen and and hopefully helping the community a bit more. I should probably do more of that.
جزاك الله خير.
وإياك.
بارك فيكم. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.